Welcome this morning to the monthly broadcast of Utah Valley Technology and Genealogy Group. My name is Marilyn Thompson. Our group is registered with the IRS in the state of Utah as an educational nonprofit corporation, and we usually start our broadcasts with a word of prayer. Jerry Castillo is willing to do that for us.
Our Father in heaven, we're grateful for the opportunity to gather together this morning and have a presentation on family history that will help us in our efforts to gather our family, to enlighten ourselves and our remaining and our other family members about our ancestors and the ways and how we can gather them into our knowledge. We pray, Father, for thy Spirit to be with our speaker this morning and pray that would be with our participants who are listening. We ask these blessings in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you, Jerry. Today is the 9th of May, 2026. Our next monthly broadcast is going to be on the 13th of June. We'll have Alice Childs, an accredited genealogist, will be presenting Using AI as Your Digital Family History Assistant. You can receive notifications of these monthly speakers and their topics from our news release blog and from our website at UVTag. It's uvtagg.org or a blog, UVTag. It's a blog.uvtag.org. We welcome the supporting members of our group in the Zoom broadcast and anyone else watching using Facebook Live on our Facebook page or the recordings on Facebook and the UVTag YouTube channel. If you'd like to make comments or ask questions during this broadcast, please feel free to use the chat feature in Zoom or post them in comments on Facebook for this broadcast. When the presenter asks questions, those of you on Zoom may also unmute your mic and turn on your camera to interact directly. For those of you who'd like to know more about the group, you can request a copy of our monthly newsletter, Tagology, by emailing your request to uvtagginfo@gmail.com. So tonight, this morning, we're going to have a presentation by Laurie Werner Castillo on can I research from home using the online resources of the BYU Library Family History Center. This is going to be a wonderful presentation. Laurie has served at the Family History Center there for many years, and there are many resources at the BYU Family History Library. The Family History Library is housed in the Main BYU Library, the Harold B. Lee Library, or it's called the HBLL. It has numerous digital resource helps that also can assist you in your research. It's a major research library. And I know Laurie's continually finding new things, and I always come home from researching there in the library with more work than I have time to do and one things. So let me tell you just a minute about Laurie Castillo. She was born in Santa Monica, California, which is why we have palm trees in the background. She was raised in West Los Angeles with beagles and land tortoises for pets and playmates. She loved playing on the girls' basketball team for 2 years in high school. I loved playing tennis, volleyball, and basketball. She misses those palm trees and the front yard and the smell of the ocean. And after a really great experience in Los Angeles, she's attended BYU. She earned an Associate's in Communication and Fine Arts and a BS in Consumer Economics. That's where she met Jerry Castillo. He's from San Antonio, Texas. They live in Utah. They have 2 children and 7 grandchildren. Laurie's currently the first vice president of our Utah Valley Technology and Genealogy Group. She has also been a former vice president and an executive secretary and a board member of the Utah Genealogical Association. And she's been a BYU family history consultant and a tour guide and teacher for 32 years. She has been a professional researcher and writer for 34 years. She's considered a major contributor to the genealogy community throughout the years, and serves in so many ways. Her research specialties include German, Netherlands, Sweden, Canada, Hispanic research, New England, Midwest, Southwest, Mountain States, Pacific frontiers, and regions of the U.S. Her interests include history, mystery, geography, genetics, and those up, add those up, and you have a lot of family history. Laurie is an amazing research. I'm always grateful for her contributions every month to our newsletter. She reads all of the blogs and then recommends the best ones, and so I feel really indebted to Laurie for all the help that she's given me over the years, and I am excited now. I'll turn the time over to you, Laurie.
Thank you. So let's just remember that what we're here to talk about today is um, researching from home using the online resources of the BYU Library Family History Center. Is that a possibility? And if so, how much can we do from home? One thing I'd like you to remember is that the BYU Library Family History Center is part of the Main BYU Library. And we're looking at that right now, the Harold B. Lee Library, the Lee Library, or HBLL for short. So that means you can also put the online resources of the Lee Library to work in your family history research. Please remember that what you learn about the BYU Library is not unique. Look at the university library near you or near where your ancestors lived and see what they may have to offer in the way of online resources. I've done that with great success. To get to the website for the BYU Family History Center, uh, I just Google BYU space FHL. If you do that, the first hit is what you see on this slide. From here, you can click on Home or choose one of the options below. Here's the homepage for the BYU Library Family History Center. To learn what we can do from home, we will focus on Find Help, Learn Online, and Research. Under Find Help, choose Virtual Help Desk. We offer live virtual family history help. Virtual Help Desk provides the opportunity for you to receive a free 20+ minute consultation. So join the virtual family history help desk live via Zoom. You'll see the green button there during the hours listed Monday through Thursday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Mountain Time. Notice the evening hours, it's till 8 p.m. and Fridays 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. When I talk about the BYU Library FHC, I tend to say we because I've been a trainer, teacher, and consultant there for many years now. There's that join live button. All right. We're going to, if you keep scrolling down that page, what you'll come to next is the virtual help desk instructions. Notice that the last 3 lines are no appointment needed. Consultations will be 20 minutes or less when others are waiting. Specialized or longer consultations may be arranged by appointment. And you go to that contact link there to schedule. And then the last one for instructional videos on how to use Zoom or join a Zoom meeting, click on that link there. They do everything they can to make the process as easy as possible. Before joining the virtual help desk, you will want to have your list of questions ready and any documents or family tree material ready to share over Zoom. Also, have a notepad and pen or pencil handy for note-taking. If you need help with researching or reading records in a language other than English, you can contact the help desk or the missionaries. There's the link. You'll find contact info for the Family History Help Desk and for the missionaries specifically. There are many missionaries, and you will be helped to connect with one who has experience in the record type, language, or location you need. Next, we'll click on Learn Online. There are 4 options. 1, Family History Webinars. 2, Virtual Family History Classes. 3, Family History Q&As. And 4, Instructional Videos. Let's examine each of these. First, Family History Webinars. The BYU Library hosts family history webinars by experts in the genealogical field on a variety of topics, including research, resources, tools, and methods. You can view webinars live as they are scheduled or watch the recordings. Scroll down and click on this button to search the full library of previously recorded webinars. We continue scrolling down this page, and you will reach the list of upcoming webinars. This will show you the schedule for the next 5 or 6 weeks. Notice that the original broadcasts are generally Wednesdays from 5 to 6 p.m. Mountain Time. Click the green button to display a list of all the webinars currently scheduled. Additional webinar titles may appear. It just depends on how far out the scheduling has been done and posted. The next link on the webinars page is join our email list. I recommend that you do this. I receive one email every week or two, and they are the least annoying of any email updates I receive, I must say. They include news of upcoming family history webinars, virtual family history classes, Q&A sessions, and other news from the FHC. As you scroll down, the next thing on the page is a list of recent webinars. On any of these lists, just click on the presentation of your choice, and it should start right up. The next item on the webinar page is the full webinar library. From here, you can read through the whole list, or you can use the search bar to narrow the list by topic, location, presenter, or keyword. If you have any difficulty getting a webinar to play, click on this link at the bottom of the webinar page. I've never had to do that myself, but if it happens, it's good to know that help is available. Next, we will look at virtual classes. Virtual classes provide an opportunity to learn about family history from the BYU Library Family History missionaries and guest instructors. Live classes are generally on Sunday afternoons, and recordings can be viewed at any time. The green button will take you to the virtual class archive, where you can select from previously recorded virtual classes. You'll notice that the virtual class charts look a lot like the webinar charts. The idea is for you to be able to see what is upcoming, what has just been recorded, or search the archive of all the classes or webinars available. Using the window to search by topic, location, presenter, or keyword is another way to zero in on just what you need. Scroll down the page and you will find the chart of upcoming virtual classes. As I understand it, attending live will afford you the opportunity to ask questions at the end of the presentation. Note that virtual classes are scheduled Sundays at 2 p.m., 3:30 p.m., and occasionally at 5 p.m. Keep scrolling and you will find the list of recent virtual classes. Just click and view, or go to the virtual class archive. The green button will take you to the full virtual class schedule. They try and post the classes at least a month or so in advance, so there may or may not be any additional classes on the full scheduled page. At the bottom of this long page, find the Sunday class FAQs. This will answer a number of questions you may have. And just so you know, if you are in proximity to the library, we love to host youth, young single adults, and adult groups for classes or other family history activities. To schedule a group, contact the Family History missionaries. You can also schedule these on weekdays as well as Sundays. And Sundays, the library is open from 4 to 8 p.m. And I'll be there. You can actually schedule a class or activity for your ward, your young men's or young women's class, or a group, or your family. Next, we go to family history Q&As. Family history Q&As are open discussions with experts in specialized areas of family history. Q&A topics include computer tips and tricks, area or topic-specific research, and AI. These are live during the day workshops. You can ask questions and receive answers on the spot. Currently, we have computer tips and tricks on Monday and Thursday from 11 a.m. to 12 noon with Van Salea, who is a retired computer guru and specializes in online research. We have a Q&A available for French, French Canadian, Italian, and Spanish research Tuesdays and Thursdays from 1 to 2 p.m. with Sister Michelle Templeman. She's actually a native of France, which reminds me that I do have questions about some French documents I have located, and I need to plan to tune in the near future. All right. Our newest offering addresses the topic of artificial intelligence. It's called Understanding and Surviving AI. The workshop is Thursdays from 10 to 11 a.m. with James Tanner. I know Brother Tanner, and he is committed to learning as much as possible about AI, so he is a great resource. These Q&As are not recorded, so you don't have to worry about making your media debut. Just make notes of questions that you have and drop into these Q&A sessions whenever you can to ask them. The fourth and final section of our Learn Online resources is instructional videos. In addition to webinars and virtual classes, Q&As, the BYU FHC provides many other family history instructional videos. These pre-recorded videos are generally shorter in length, somewhere from 6 to 20 minutes, most of them actually under 10 minutes. And this gives you another way to obtain more family history skills or get a quick refresher on a particular process. And what a convenient format. These can also be useful if you are teaching a family history class, family members, friends, or other genealogy enthusiasts. You can show these videos and they can rewatch the video as needed if they know where the videos are located. So some of them are about using the various features on Family Search, specific record types, specific research websites, and more. I have a few examples here, mostly involving Family Search. So we have sharing family memories, we have getting started with Family Search, we have evaluating Family Search record hints. And a few more, preserving memories on FamilySearch.org, changing a person from living to deceased in Family Search, and merging duplicates, and making amazing genealogy discoveries with Family Search, full text search, and many more. Now let's talk about the link on the BYU Library Family History Center homepage for family history research. The research resources are divided into 5 categories. 1, BYU library research. 2, databases. 3, microforms. 4, reference helps. And 5, special collections. The resources most helpful for those researching from home are BYU library research, reference helps, and special collections. Let's begin with BYU library search. Here we are at the HBLL homepage. The BYU Library Family History Center is on the 2nd level of the Harold Bealey Library. Ground level is floor 3. So the Family History Center is 1 floor below ground level and can be reached by stairs or elevators. The picture here shows the glass entranceway on the north side of the library. Note that at the top of the search window in the center of the screen, there are 2 tabs, In the Library and Available Online. Available online means ebooks, articles, journals, databases, streaming media, and more. Some of these items will only be available to current students and faculty, but it doesn't hurt to look. In the library, is a search in the main HBLL catalog. Using the catalog may help you locate books and resources you haven't used before. Then you can look for them in libraries local to you or do an interlibrary loan request if they are not available locally. I included a second link under search window on the syllabus that will bring up this page. It contains some good advice about maximizing your search success in the library catalog. It really is crucial to know how to best use a search engine. Here there are 4 key tips for success: advice about keywords, the use of quotation marks, Boolean search techniques using the advanced search option, and how to use the wildcard feature. You'll want to keep these options in mind. Here we are back at the HBLL homepage. There are links above and below the picture. First, let's talk about the links below. The databases reached by this homepage icon are academic subscriptions that must be used on campus and in the library. We'll talk about research guides a bit later, but this is one way to reach them quickly. On to the materials link at the top of the page. Clicking on the materials link brings you to a drop-down list of resource collections available for search. Number 1, every library has specific collecting areas of emphasis, and the subject area collections chart will show you what they are at the HBLL. Number 2, databases are those just mentioned, academic subscription databases that need to be used in the library. Number 3, I did actually find some journal material, meaning published academic journals that I could use online, but I would like to focus on number 4, theses and dissertations. As for number 5, special collections, and number 6, digital collections, we will address these topics a little later. Here's that list of the BYU collecting areas. You may wish to come back to this list and peruse it. Just click on any collection title to see more. I recommend the 19th, 20th, and 21st century Mormon manuscripts and the photographic archives in particular. This is the page for links to available theses and dissertations. The collections at BYU are the ones you can search from home. Electronic theses and dissertations, plus Scholars Archive. I'm going to show you a quick example of something I found recently in just a couple of minutes using Scholars Archive. Remember that other universities may have theses and dissertations available as well. I have used them to great advantage thus far. Here we are at the BYU Scholars Archive. This is Brigham Young University's institutional repository for the scholarly and creative content produced by the university. Scholars Archive makes research, publications, data, and journals produced by BYU faculty and students available to a global research audience. It searches for theses, dissertations, and other scholarly articles. One of my current projects is researching how the 1918-1919 influenza epidemic affected my ancestors. I'm always on the lookout for new material. Thus my search for influenza pandemic. I think it's kind of small in the little search window there on the left, but that's what it says. All right. So my search results included an academic article with the promising title, The Spanish Influenza Pandemic of 1918, a Defining Characteristic in the Life and History of the American Family. I clicked the download link, and this is what popped up. This is the journal where the article originally appeared. I clicked on the new download button, and the article was downloaded to my computer in seconds. This is 15 pages of information, and that's the opening page of the article. And you can just scroll through. Not bad for 2 minutes of searching, I'd say. It's a good article, by the way. Now we'll continue the research resources category with reference help and then special collections. There are 11 links on the reference helps page, and we'll touch on each one briefly. I wanted you to see the layout of the whole page. Now we'll get it big enough that we can actually read it. Okay, number one, blue binders. The blue binders are collections of resources sorted by country, U.S. state, languages, etc., that have been collected over many years at BYU. The actual blue binders, which are in the BYU Family History Center, have been digitized and are now readable and downloadable. You can scroll through the list here and see what might apply for you. Number two is a link to the Family History Guide website, an excellent free website for learning research websites, and locating activities for genealogy. Number three is research guides, also known as BYU Library subject guides on various academic research topics. They are created by BYU subject librarians, so these are guides written by the experts. Here we are at the page for BYU research guides. This is actually part of the main library website. The arrow is pointing to the 3 types of guides available. You'll want to look at the list of subject guides and other guides. Oops. Let me just say that you will also see that there's a category there called course guides. Course guides are private materials posted by an instructor for his or her students to study as part of their coursework. And yes, there is one for family history and genealogy. Each of the blue buttons at the top of the page will take you to a list of links for resources. You have beginning research, advanced research, genealogy databases, discovery and activities, preserving memories, maps for genealogy, African American and Asian American research, oral histories, handwriting, and newspapers, current and historical. The picture is of Joe Everett, the man in charge of the BYU Library Family History Center. He's also the subject librarian for family history. And notice the green button to the left, which will connect you to library chat when the word available is showing. This is another place to ask questions about the library and its holdings. If you scroll down below Joe Everett, this is what you will see. This is the rest of that family history genealogy subject guide. More links. We've covered the relevant links for research from home already. You have probably noted by now that there are multiple pathways to the genealogy links at BYU. My favorite guide from the other guides list is this one, Maps, Atlases, and Gazetteers. BYU has approximately 240,000 maps and 5,500 atlases and gazetteers in the collection. Just look at these links. Here's another place to see maps for genealogy. Next to that, you see maps and atlases online. On the second row, you have online directories, geographic dictionaries, and gazetteers. Unless they were published yesterday, directories, geographic dictionaries, and gazetteers are historic. They are guides to the names and jurisdictions of locations at the time the information for the book was gathered. So just watch the publication dates when you scroll through these lists to locate materials that fit the time frame of your research. And one more from the other guides list is the photographic archives. This is a guide to the photographic archives in the L. Tom Perry Special Collections. These are digital collections that are searchable online. And you'll want to click on this link here. It says digitized photographic materials to see the names and descriptions of these photo collections, and they're all viewable online, just thousands and thousands of photos. This is the top of the digitized photographic collections page. And so you can search specifically, the individual collections. And here's the rest of that list. I recommend it, especially the George Edward Anderson collection. It has over 14,000 images taken between 1878 and 1928. A lot of these were taken in Utah or at other LDS historic sites, and have a lot of information if you have early LDS or Utah ancestry that you need to look into. Okay, these are more of the reference guides. All of these are lists of links to assist you. Number 4 is Digital State Archives. All of the state archives are currently working on scanning their holdings and have some items already available online. Number 5 is Libraries, which contains links to the best genealogical research libraries in the United States. They left off one of the biggest and best, a real favorite of mine, the Midwest Genealogy Center, so I included a link to that one in the syllabus. Number 6, historical societies. So these are miscellaneous genealogy societies and associations that may have information for you. Number 7 is maps. These are links to some of the best map websites and map repositories in the United States. Number 8 is newspapers, and number 9 is records. In this case, the links are sorted by record types. Here are the final 2 reference guides. Number 10, reference, all kinds of links to reference material, and number 11, subject list, which is lists of genealogy links alphabetically by topic. So it's an awesome collection of research assistance. Here we are at the Special Collections homepage. Reading the how-to section is always important. Okay. My first arrow is pointing at the line with the link for manuscript collection databases. The manuscripts are in the general library catalog, but this link allows you to search only manuscripts. We'll then talk about the digital collections in special collections, and then the available transcriptions of selected special collections material. This is a look at the Search Special Collections Manuscripts and Archives search page. You can see that I've entered a search for Fayette, Utah. And here's the top of my hit list. The first hit looks promising. It says Fayette History Sources. We'll see. Here we are. This hit is for the handwritten John Swain diaries. There are 7 volumes. Whoever created the collection entry stated that John mostly talked about the weather. Then they added, he also mentions many of the factors of life in Fayette, including a grasshopper plague in 1877 and visits by various general authorities of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. The dates covered are 1870 through 1892. It turns out that John Swain was the postmaster and at the same time and place ran the one tiny store in Fayette where my Meller family were original settlers. The store was the smallest outlet of ZCMI I have ever seen. It's still there. The store was, I've had the opportunity of reading these journals, and they contain so much day-to-day detail about the town and the people there and in surrounding communities. Even the birth of my future great-grandfather is mentioned. So the journals contain way more than weather. Fayette was too small to have its own newspaper, so this is where the happenings in the town are recorded. There were other hits for Fayette that I should delve into as well. You really should try a search for places, people, surnames, and events that will include information on your family. Sometimes we fall into the rut of searching only for the exact name of our family member. In the case of the Swain diaries, I would not have found the references to my family if I had not searched on the name of the place where they lived. Here's another search I did, this time for my 3rd great-grandfather, Abraham Palmer. This time I found 4 hits specifically, including my third great-grandfather, Abraham Palmer, and his families. Hulda Catherine is the wife I come from, so I did a separate search on her name. The same 4 hits came up for her as well. Then I did a search for Abraham Palmer's first wife, Patience Pierce Palmer. I found a hit for this document. This is a receipt, and I promise you, when it's on your computer and you can bring it up larger, you actually can read it. It looks a little faded here. This is a receipt, and it's dated June 15th, 1841. It's made out to Patience Palmer for her contribution of $1, quote, for the purpose of building the Lord's house in Nauvoo, unquote. It is signed by Lyman White and Henry W. Miller. Lyman White was an apostle who was with Joseph Smith for the entire ordeal in Liberty Jail. These are special collections, digital collections, are all searchable online from home. There are currently 101 of these digital collections. This is a sampling that I picked from the list to give you an idea of the kind of things that are there. So you'll want to browse the whole page and see what's available. But they have the 19th century Mormon article newspaper index. This is really fun. It's from newspapers all around the country. And whenever they had an article that dealt in some way with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the Mormons, or with the territory or state of Utah, that's what's included in this. And it's really kind of interesting to see us from other people's point of views. The next one is BYU's master's thesis on Mormonism. And these are theses that were published at BYU since the early 1930s. And I have found that they do tend to have information on locations where LDS people settled, historic events, and things that may apply to your family research. The next two are a couple of the photograph collections that I mentioned. And the last one on this page is the historical clothing collection. So the historical clothing collection of BYU's Department of Theater and Media Arts has been photographed. And the collection is from the 18th century to about the 1990s. So that's kind of interesting if you're wanting to take a look at the way that your ancestors may have dressed. And here's a few more. There's one called Miscellaneous Books, and I'll come back and talk about that one. But these are Mormon collections. So if you have LDS research, these are really helpful. I've used them all. A Mormon bibliography is a bibliography of source material for the first 100 years of the LDS Church and its history. And the next one is Mormon missionary collections, then Mormon missionary diaries, Mormon publications, 19th and 20th centuries. That's a collection of early Mormon publications, including books, missionary tracts, doctrinal treatises, hymnals, periodicals, and really a great collection. And the last one there on this page is Mormon Studies Resources. Let's talk about Mormon missionary diaries as an example. You can browse by geography, meaning region of the world, diarist, meaning the journal keeper, or the mission in which he served. You can use the search window at the top of the page to search by any name, location, or event. I searched for the name of James Miller, my third great-grandfather who served a mission in England. I know his missionary journal is at another university library. I searched at BYU to see if he had been mentioned by any of his leaders or fellow missionaries in their journals. With this search, I garnered 4 hits, and here they are. All I need to do is choose a diarist, click on the picture, and the journal will open to the correct page that has James Miller on it. I then changed the search to Meller, just the surname. He also had 2 sons who served missions as well. And I also recalled how many times I found Mellor, which is Mellor, misspelled as Miller or some other variant. So I checked for those variants as well. Now I had 9 hits. This is one of the new hits. I'll start reading where the arrow is pointing. You notice what beautiful handwriting this is. After a few remarks by President Paxman, he introduced Elder James Mellor, but you see that it's spelled Jas, okay, president of the Liverpool Conference, who occupied about 15 minutes in bearing testimony to the gospel as restored in our day. JAS, or Jazz, is the most common abbreviation for James that you'll find in old records. I looked at some of the other hits, and James Mellor was repeatedly referred to as just Brother Mellor as well. So, that's why I put up the sample of the different ways you might find his name here. This is one of the miscellaneous books that I mentioned that we'd come back to, available in the special collections, digital collections. Andrew Jensen was the first to organize Latter-day Saint historical data into an encyclopedic form. This work is particularly valuable in providing brief histories of church units from their beginnings up to 1930. Entries are also provided for the history of the church in various geographic areas of the world. I did a search for Luna, New Mexico, and I found it. This is the top of the page, not the entire page here. And in the course of the article that I was actually helping someone else locate at the time, I found my own third great grandfather, Willis Copeland, in the list of bishops of the Luna Ward. I was shocked. I had the impression he might be in Arizona at the time and had no idea he had lived in New Mexico. It turns out that the Luna Ward is in the St. John's stake in Arizona. The stake hung over the territorial border, though. So who knew? But there it is. Another project by Andrew Jensen, who was the assistant church historian, was the creation of this day-to-day listing of important events in LDS history. When I originally used this church chronology, I had to do it using some very faded films or go up to the church office building where the large bound volumes were kept. They were quite awkward, and this is quite the improvement. Another published collection we can use from home is the 4-volume set titled Latter-day Saint Biographical Encyclopedia. With over 5,000 biographical entries and over 2,000 photographs, it's a likely place to find information on pioneer ancestors. There are so many wonderful items in the BYU Special Collections digital collections. I hope you'll give that a really good look. The last resource to mention is the digital collections, transcriptions of items from special collections. At the end of the main list is another entitled Miscellaneous Collections. So I'd look in both of those lists. Journals, in the miscellaneous, you'll find journals, diaries, letters, church records, church military records, and more. These have been transcribed or typed up from the old manuscripts, so are much easier to read. So that's something to look for. There are 2 other locations at BYU currently producing materials for genealogy research online. One is the BYU Center for Family History and Genealogy, and the second is the BYU Family History Technology Lab. I've supplied these links in the syllabus. I'm also in the process of recording video presentations about each of those locations, and you'll be able to find the links to those on our Facebook page or our YouTube page. Have we answered the question? Can you research online using resources at the BYU Family History Library and the BYU Lee Library? Yes, I believe we have. Thank you for joining me for this look at researching from home using the online resources of the BYU Family History Center and the BYU Lee Library. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Laurie. My experience is I was blown away having spent a lot of years accessing a lot of these areas. I'm kind of going, what? It's online? Wow. And that,
Yeah,
well, wait, you
it's
know,
awesome.
yeah, this is so exciting. And that, from the very beginning, those research guides, I keep thinking, oh, I would like to pull that out now and take a look at what they have. I know some of them, they would have direct links to the what copies in the library, and I love that. But now to even see those, which now there'll be, links to online. I thank you. And then I didn't know so much of the special collections was available online.
Yeah, it's
Um,
grown
I I
over the
don't
years.
know. Facebook, I haven't seen any comments. The, on mine, if there were anything. Yeah, Carol Hill isn't here.
Yeah,
I
she's online. She's
Oh,
on Facebook.
she's on
Yeah.
Facebook. Okay,
Yeah.
and I didn't see any comments there. Um,
You've
I
really, Laurie, you've really stretched my awareness of what there is available online. I've got a whole bunch of searching that I need to do.
yeah yeah
I didn't
yeah
know about the journals that
yeah
they had there was access to,
available.
Oh, yes, every word
yeah.
searchable.
I know I was writing about a grandfather that was in old Mexico and went into some of those journals, and oh, I have a whole different view of my ancestors' pioneer experiences in colonial Juarez. And so I was really excited to see that those are available online. Wow.
Oh,
I had a question. One question is, what do you find the difference to access these things from being home versus in the library?
it's identical. The things
Is
that
it
I've showed
really?
today, it's identical. Um, like I was pointing out, I didn't talk about the some of those the research databases, the ones that BYU pays for, the academic ones.
Yeah,
There's a lot of stuff in those too that can be used, but that has to be done in the library
right,
because they
right.
are
But so I'm
right.
grateful for what you showed us we could do from home.
Yeah.
That
So
is real.
the thing is, you can do everything you can do from home, and then you can save your time there for the things that you can't do. You know.
Important
And
research tip. Yeah,
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 and let's see what was I going to say about that. Having the access to the BYU catalog and all that from home gives you the opportunity to plan out a research um, plan for your trip there if and when you get there. So and like I was saying earlier in the presentation, you can locate things that perhaps you can interlibrary loan to where you are if you're not
if you're
near
not
this
local.
library. So
It's,
I've done a lot of interlibrary loan over the years, and it's been a
yeah,
wonderful thing. So
yeah.
the only thing I didn't mention was where to park if you're actually coming, but I would go to the BYU website and look up parking
Ah,
as that
yeah.
changes from
Oh,
time to
yeah,
time due to the various projects
yeah,
that are
yeah, yeah.
in
I know.
progress right now.
I
So,
was there last month, and part of the parking was all corridored off for a new project that they had. So I agree completely. That
yes,
is
they're
that's
currently replacing the administration building with a new
yeah
building. So, yeah,
yeah
that's can be interesting. So I really encourage everybody. I think they're doing their best to put more and more things online
yeah
that
yeah
can
yeah.
be used from home that we can we can do a tremendous amount.
It's really true, and there's always those jewels that pop up. Like for example, the photo collections. When you said there is so much there, and it's just amazing to have something pop up with your grandfather's picture with his family, and that no one has ever seen that are in
Yeah,
these.
the four links that I showed that I found for Abraham Palmer and family, that actually contain not only text histories, but it contained pictures of them, and really
Wow.
nice ones. And as far as I understand, you can actually order copies of pictures. So,
And I loved your suggestion about researching the place where your ancestors live. It isn't until we really put our family in the element of the place that they're living that we really understand their history. And this is one of the specialty areas that BYU had is localities and histories and
yes, there are
yeah.
loads of family histories there.
Yeah, yeah, it's amazing. So,
And if you
I
find
have
something in
another
the,
que-
okay, another question.
I have another question too. I'm curious. BYU has a lot of special collections that are LDS related. I'm wondering how many, or if any of those, are included here in if they've been digitized, if they're available here under what you've shown us, or if there
yes.
are plans to expand into those more.
Oh, I'm sure. That's the big deal nowadays is to get as much online for more than a couple of reasons. One, it allows us to research from home, but the second one is it's a protection for these documents that may not hold up forever. Once they've been scanned, then we have the information, even if something happens to them, a fire or something terrible. And we're having so many disasters these days with
Yeah.
weather-related incidents and so on that it's good to know that these things are being safeguarded.
Those special collections are really unique to the Y, and so that really makes a difference. Yeah.
And every library, every university, or every large library has special collections. And
Yeah.
like I said, they're all in the process of getting what they can legally put online. And so even if you can't, let's say you find something and it's not online in the BYU collections, um, you can contact them and see about getting a copy of the pages from a book or from a manuscript that you need. And they're likely to be very cooperative. And what I've really appreciated lately when I've done those sorts of things is when they send it to me, it's not in the mail, they send it online. And so I have an electronic copy of that source material just to put in my online collection. And that's the way libraries are pretty much operating these days, even with interlibrary loan. If you ask for an article or something, they'll send you the pages, and so you don't have to pay for the shipping of the book or for anything to come through the mail. We're getting so spoiled now, same day, next day.
Yeah,
Oh, digital is really handy.
it is wonderful, and they are really generous to do interlibrary loan for genealogy things. Thank you so much, Laurie. This has just been absolutely wonderful. Oh dear, I may not go to bed tonight. I may.
Well, I used to have insomnia, and I worried about it. Now I don't.
Yeah, you don't. No, you don't.
It's always something to do if I happen to be awake. So,
Oh,
Yeah, I am curious about one other thing, Laurie. In the searching and the searching algorithms that BYU is using, do you know to what extent they have implemented AI related stuff there?
I don't. Um,
yeah.
I have seen, I've noticed while I've been using stuff sometimes that there are abilities there to search that must be AI related, but yeah, no, I haven't seen that. Except one thing that I will say is now that a lot of these things are scanned, they're usually scanned in a PDF format, which makes them every word searchable,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is different than just having a copy online that you can page through,
And now that we have AI that can read old handwriting,
Yes,
that
there.
is really helping a lot with these documents that we miss things in that we didn't see. Because then when you go to the transcript, you go, oh, that's what it says. Okay. Yeah.
I think when I do those, when I have those other two presentations posted up, you'll be able to see some AI in
Oh,
those
okay,
resources. So,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll make a note too. Those other video clips that you're planning, we'll have those links available on Facebook as they come out, as well as on our YouTube channel.
It's great. There is so much available at those other two locations. I was surprised at how much additional help is there. People used to actually, I've been working in the library so long there that people used to come up to me and say, "Well, I've done everything on Family Search. That was it, right?" And I don't
Surprise.
think anybody can ever say that again, that I've done everything.
Oh,
Um,
no,
yeah, which
I,
is wonderful. And really only a small percentage of stuff is online already. So we just have to look forward to more and more and more. So,
and it actually is good to go and re-examine things. I know I
mhm.
recently went back to re-examine some manuscripts that I had got out of the special collections at BYU, and it's like I hadn't put two and two together. And all at once, this insight came to me about this manuscript that was really, and it was because I had a timeline. I had been creating a timeline, and all at once, I put this manuscript within the timeline, and I had, it was really quite a valuable insight that I shared with a cousin, and she says, "Wow." Well, thank you so very much, and I guess we will. We have this. It's available soon and on YouTube, and the link will be available to our YouTube channel there from Facebook. Laurie, thank you so much. Have a good day.
Right.